Are you a working homeschool mom whose days feel rushed, jam-packed, and it feels like you're constantly running to play catch up? If so, this video is for you. I'm a working homeschool mom, and I can tell you that it took me some time to figure out how to balance what works best for my family and for my career. And today I'm going to tell you the one thing that I figured out that's going to transform your schedule the way it did mine. So let's get into it. Now, if we haven't met yet, I'm Elan, and I work with working homeschool moms to help them figure out their family's daily flow. And a lot of times I run into the same issue time and time again, and that's seeing moms trying to recreate a traditional school day at home. So they try to do an 8 a.m. start. They try to teach every subject every single day, and they try to have a full jam-packed schedule from morning to afternoon. But what we've got to remember is that the traditional 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. school model, it was designed for an entirely different system, one that assumes that there are 20 some odd students to every one teacher. But that's not what we're doing here in a homeschool environment. You don't have all those kids. It's just the one of you, and you get to flex things around what works for you and for your children. And so that said, there's so much more flexibility that opens up when you move from the traditional school setup to a home learning environment. So even if your kids have virtual classes, they're still much more likely to be in smaller classes than they would experience in the traditional classroom. So let's get rid of that 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. mindset, and let's begin to create a rhythm that works for your family. Because here's the deal. Rhythm is about how your days flow, not how tightly they're scheduled. So it gives you enough structure to stay consistent while also giving you enough flexibility to breathe. So simply put, rigid schedules demand perfection. You can't run late. You can't require more time. You must always maintain the schedule. Whereas rhythms allow for real life. So maybe staying on a topic with your kids a little bit longer, or maybe taking the morning off when needed. And for working homeschool moms especially, what I found that really works well for my family and for the families that I work with is what I call a framework with flexibility. So it's something that accounts for your family's energy, for focus time, and for real world interruptions, because life always happens. Somebody's going to get sick, a work emergency is going to come up, something is going to happen that might try to derail your days. But let me show you how I get around that. So I love to group my days into general blocks of time instead of exact starting times. So it works like this. I can fit my work and the kids' schoolwork into our morning blocks so that we can have our afternoon blocks open to get outside, to get some fresh air, and to do things other than our academics. And I also try not to pack too much into each block. So I don't teach every subject every day. Instead, we'll do history twice a week, and one of those days might actually be a field trip or a trip to the library. And if for any reason we get off track one of those days, I don't stress, because there's already flexibility built into our schedule that can accommodate that. So I want you to normalize not always having the perfect day. It's really more about having a flexible plan that works around your life, not the other way around. Now, once your days start flowing better, the next place that a lot of us might start to get overwhelmed usually shows up with curriculum. Because even with a flexible rhythm, many of us moms are still trying to do too much academically. We tend to overcomplicate things. It's just what we do. So in the next video, I'm breaking down how working homeschool moms can simplify curriculum decisions and why fewer choices often lead to better learning. So be sure to check that one out. I'll see you over there.